Headline Gossip. It's great to be back. It's been a while since we've met and we've talked about football, but it's good to be back. And there's a lot of things that has happened while we were away, and it's just great to be back, isn't it? So we have the Kloppite and the Bong Scouser with us today, and which obviously gives you a hint what we're going to talk about. And it is this guy. Doesn't look happy, is he? Does he? So Klopp is leaving the Premier League, leaving Liverpool, which was kind of like a shock news that came out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting that, or were they? I don't know. You guys tell me later. But yeah, to me, like from a Manchester United point of view, a huge loss to the Premier League. Definitely a huge loss to Liverpool as well. And but yeah, again, like from a point of view that why are some of these good managers quitting the Premier League, we don't know. And we'll talk about things like where is going to go next, what is going to happen to Liverpool. Are players going to follow his footsteps and leave Liverpool as well? We'll see how that goes. But yeah, just to start off, guys, I'll start with the Bong Scouser. How do you feel about this news that Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool after, being a part of the
Nine
club
years.
for so long, 9 years,
9 years.
winning so many trophies, a Premier League trophy, the most important one as well. And, with Liverpool's performance, it's been really, really good compared to last season, this season. Why has he decided to quit all of a sudden out of the blue?
Well, no one knows, but from whatever he's mentioned in his farewell statement, is that you know uh, there's something not right. He's not feeling up to it. He's probably tired with the amount of matches we are playing these days. It's really difficult for even for people mention about players, but it's incredibly difficult for managers as well. Players can at least sit out those games, right? But managers have to be focused on each game and make sure that the team gets the right results. And there's media pressure, all of that, doing the press conferences, which I'm sure Jurgen Klopp does not like. He's not that kind of a guy like Mourinho, or you have Antonio Conte, who would be very entertaining during these press conferences. He is someone who doesn't enjoy these things, and I'm pretty sure, working in England, it's almost as important as managing these games. Okay, managing press conferences and other things like that. So ultimately, it comes as a shock, definitely, because no one in the footballing world knew about this apart from, I think, some insiders from Liverpool. So it definitely comes as a shock. But probably a year back, we were expecting Jurgen Klopp to leave in 2024. He had mentioned long back about his sabbatical from which he would be taking in 2024, and he said that after that, he was not sure whether he would come back to football or not. But having signed a new contract some 7-8 months back, we were pretty sure that he was going to last till at least 2026. But again, that was not to be, and it definitely comes as a shock. But again, nothing lasts for forever. And let me tell you, at least in modern day football, we will never have a Sir Alex Ferguson who's lasted over 2 decades, right?
Right.
So, so ultimately, I think he's you know he's done his job. Liverpool were, had fallen into mediocrity, and he has taken us from doubters to believers, as he had promised, right? So he's done his job. We owe him nothing. You know, uh, I think. I think the best part, I would say, the thing that defined sort of Klopp's era was his connection with the fans, and that will really stand out for me. You can replace the manager, probably. It will be incredibly difficult, but probably we'll replace the manager, but we will not replace that man. That man was just something else. There was not a single person in the footballing fraternity who disliked Klopp, right? I mean, everyone was so fond of him. It's just because of his personality, his charisma. So so I think we'll definitely win matches without Klopp, but I think winning those games will never be the same, without him.
Right.
So so yeah, of course I'll miss him a lot. For me, in the last 5-6 years, Liverpool was synonymous to his name. Okay, Jurgen Klopp means Liverpool, and I'm sure it's for everyone that way. So
Right.
so yeah, needless to say, we'll miss him a lot.
Right, right. I'll go to Kloppite. How are you reacting to this news? Same similar kind of feelings like the Monk Scouser, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if it's much worse or better than the Bong Scouser because we all, I don't know how we were at the time when the news got announced. So I was at a conference and suddenly my coworker, he also follows a little bit of football, so he's like Jurgen Klopp has decided to quit Liverpool. I'm like, are you kidding me? What are you saying? Like are you fucking joking or what? So, and
Yeah.
then I saw the news. I saw the Liverpool group all like 1,500 messages, and I think it came as a shock to any Liverpool fan, and especially to any football fan. I would say, like even Manchester United fan, Man City fan, Chelsea, whatever club you support. If you're a football romantic, you just love Jurgen Klopp, and you just don't want to lose him. And so, yeah, I saw the group, and I was like, I've seen some like people saying like it's equivalent of losing their own father, and I don't know if I want to carry it that far, but yeah, it like he had like a a father kind of
Yeah.
aura about him for Liverpool fans, even for fans overseas, like not only Liverpool fans residing in Liverpool, but
I'm sure
fans
a Manchester
overseas.
United fan would understand, right, this because
Yeah, yeah,
it's with Saf, right?
yeah. So with Alex Ferguson, also, I think Manchester United fans understand, and these are I don't know if City fans will ever get that same feeling with Pep Guardiola. I'm sure, but Jurgen Klopp, Sir Alex, they had a charisma about them, and their work apart from just football was much more like charity and other work like just being a nice person. Visiting all the hospitals for um, like mental patients, uh, disabled children's, everything. Like I've seen, there's so many videos and letters. Liverpool fans would know that Jurgen Klopp sent out to not just Liverpool fans, but football fans in general when they suffered losses. And he was the same to many managers. Like that day, Pochettino said that when I lost my job at Spurs, the first one to text me was Jurgen Klopp, and I'm sure he offered him much consoling feelings and like strengthened him from the inside. So he was, I think, a father figure like kind of personality for many young managers, and I think Premier League is losing out on a huge gem of a human being. I think like Jurgen Klopp is pure. Jurgen Klopp is on your face. Jurgen Klopp is pure. Jurgen Klopp is from the heart. And there's nothing fake about him, I think, next year. But what I think was like initially his contract was till 2024, and he did sign the extension to 2026. But I think something about him, what he said in the interview, like he said, I'm out of energy. Just I'm out of energy, and uh, like even last season, when Liverpool were losing terribly, there were some fans who would say like, "Is should Jurgen Klopp be sacked?" In the media, they say they should Jurgen Klopp be sacked. The truth is like, you cannot sack Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp walks out, even for such a big club like Liverpool. I feel, and I think that was the same with Sir Alex. You cannot sack Sir Alex. Sir Alex walks out. So
Those
yeah,
are fair
that's my
points.
statement.
Yeah, those are fair points. But I guess my follow up question to you regarding that would be why has he gone and announced this right at the middle of the season where he's been playing so well with Liverpool compared to what happened last season? He's brought in the new players. He's definitely retained Mohamed Salah, and you guys are like title contenders this season. So why has he gone off at the middle of the season? When there's so much to achieve this season, and he's announced this, saying that he's tired, he's not going to be there. Do you think that that might affect the current performance of the players who are playing for Liverpool?
Okay, so yeah, like I think Shuprio mentioned, the Bongshauser mentioned in his like show, in his previous talk that I think football is not the same. That is one of the reason. Jurgen Klopp is a football romantic. So, the VAR, the referee, the PGMOL, and everything. And Liverpool have been scammed a lot this season, I think. And he just probably, and he always complains about these too many games of football. The players don't get rest. And I'm sure it's not only the players, it's the manager who also doesn't get rest. The coaching staff also doesn't get rest. And they're going to introduce some Champions League, I don't know, 1,500 teams playing in the Champions League or something next season. And I don't think Jurgen Klopp takes that well. I think Jurgen Klopp would never take that well. He believes in a training and everything, taking it step by step. And when there'll be so much games of football, I don't think Jurgen Klopp, it takes a lot out of him. He's not a Pep kind of personality. Like, he's a passionate manager. He gives out energy. That's what he said. And the interview playing on your background, he said that I'm an energetic personality and I try to give that energy to other people. And when I don't have that energy anymore, I don't have any much to give. I think that
That's true.
is exactly what's the reason why Jurgen Klopp is said, okay, I'm done. Like, this football is not the same for me anymore. What it was, uh, I don't think I can do it anymore. And maybe it's just not only that. Maybe, I understand Liverpool have a smaller budget compared to City, maybe Chelsea, uh, maybe Manchester United, and to compete. And I think, like, if you say pound for pound, Jurgen Klopp has been overachieving every season, almost every season. He's been overachieving. And if you think, like, even if, like, suppose you're a professional and you get paid, suppose X amount of pounds or X amount of whatever Canadian dollars uh, per month, and you're just overworking every time, you're producing the best results, and you don't have your company is producing the best result, but you don't have those resources, to compete with the big dogs. You just get tired at the end of the day. Like, how much can you give? I think, and what the third point I want to say is that Jurgen Klopp, he could have left last season, right? He could have left last season, and because that team was getting to end, he's never rebuilt a team. So even in Dortmund, he's never rebuilt a team. It was one team which ran throughout its course and came to an end. But this time, he did rebuild the team, and probably he didn't. And according to his interviews, he said that I didn't expect you guys to be this good in the first season, and that could have tempted him to stay. But I think he's such a brave personality that when you have this team and probably it can go 2, 3 seasons or 4 seasons, he's just choosing to go on a high. I think that takes a lot of courage because, yeah, it probably is easy, like, from the outside world, that it's easy, like, oh, you're going on a high, you keeping a good legacy behind you, but it's also very tempting to stay because I know I have built this team again. I want to work with it. I want to play around with it, but he's still leaving. So, yeah, respect, a lot of respect. I hope you guys can understand, the fans and the people who are watching can understand that it takes a lot of uh, courage to leave on a high also.
Okay, I'll move on to the Bong Scouser and ask him, like, based on this decision, what impact is gonna like take place? What impacts do you see happening to Liverpool's performance this season, particularly at a stage where you can possibly win the Premier League and a few other trophies? Right, you're in the mix, you're in the competition. How does this decision actually affect your team and your performance? Do you think it'll have an effect on the morale of someone like Mohamed Salah, who's he's redefined himself under Klopp, right? And maybe one of the decisions why perhaps he did not leave the Premier League this season is because Jurgen Klopp is there, his system is there, his staff is there, and maybe he thought maybe one more season with him and with Liverpool, right? So how do you think this decision is going to affect the overall performance of Liverpool?
Okay, if you're talking about the current season, I don't think it will adversely affect our performances. I think the game against Norwich was proof to that. Liverpool were really, bouncing, uh, trying. And when you heard Curtis Jones in that interview, he also mentioned that they will be, they'll be even more motivated now to give their best. to help Jurgen Klopp have a very very happy farewell, if I may say like that. But I think overall, I don't think this season in particular will be affected by this news, in the sense that I know these players. The Liverpool team, if you see, they are very professional. I don't think we've had a lot of bad. This team has been there for like the last 4 or 5 seasons, right? I mean, most of the players, if I talk about not the new signings, and this team has a different mentality altogether. Any Liverpool fan or any Premier League fan, if you know, they'll say the same thing. Liverpool have a different mentality about them. Whatever goes in the back room, doesn't really affect their games. I hope it's the same this season, because we are in all the competitions, and to be honest, I expect us to at least win 2 trophies this season, if not three. But and at least, if we can win that league for Jurgen Klopp, I think this would be the best farewell possible. But yeah, I'll go back to what Shyam was saying about Jurgen Klopp leaving on a high. I think the same. I think the challenge last season was that in front of him was that he needed, probably he had decided last season itself that he was going to leave, but I think the challenge that lied in front of him was to leave Liverpool in a good shape. Okay, and he just did not want to leave them in the middle of a crisis. Okay, so he rebuilt this team, uh, and I think 6 months down the line he was sure that this team is good enough to carry on the legacy that he has built. And that is probably the reason he thinks that, okay, now is the time. Obviously fatigue is the most important factor, like it was mentioned before, but I think it's also the fact that he's happy with how the team has shaped up for the future. So many young players coming through this season. If you see the young players that have played, I mean, I can talk about so many of them. Kwanzaa, then you have Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones,
Honor Bradley.
Bradley. Yeah, Bradley's been superb. Then McConnell, Clark, all these young fellows have played superbly. Whoever has been brought on by Klopp, he's really delivered on their promise. And I mean, even if I was the manager of Liverpool, I would really say that this is probably the golden era when it comes to how the team is shaping up. So I think this is the right time to leave. Yeah.
Right. And you mentioned some of these players who are from the academy or young players that he's bought and he's tried to steady the ship. What do you think will happen once Jurgen Klopp quits next season? Do you see some players leaving, or do you think, uh, you know, it's going to go on? The philosophy is going to stay the same, and these players who are performing so well under him will at least try to perform under the new manager for Liverpool next season.
Okay, so I think the way the team is looking now, I think any other manager who comes in will have an easier job if compared to last season. I think a lot of players that we consider as the core of Liverpool, I think they will stay at the club. Okay, and but I'm worried for the academy players, because Klopp has given the chance to so many of the academic players. Okay, whenever there was someone injured at the club, he never even signed a player unless he saw someone from
Very
the
fair.
academy and he checked how good they were. Okay, so he's always tested these the academy players, and given them enough chances. So I think the academy players will definitely be affected. I'm worried for the likes of Bradley and for Kwanzaa and these players, because they've been so promising, but they are still like backups to the main players. And anyone who comes in would probably, if they have a budget, would like to sign uh, proper footballing names. Okay, I mean, people who have been successful in other leagues and things like that. So I'm worried for the academy players. But about the main players, I think the core of the team will be intact. But then, yes, of course, there is the threat of Mohamed Salah leaving, which is almost every season. Like it has been happening for the last 2 seasons. We've heard Salah leaving, and I think last season there was a bid from Saudi. But this season, Saudi isn't really looking like a very good prospect, if I'm honest. And there's also probably PSG, who's probably going to someone sign someone as Mbappe replacement. Probably he can go there. But anyhow, I don't see Salah staying beyond this season. Very honestly, uh, I was very, very disappointed with what Virgil van Dijk said in the interview. Although it might sound normal, but he's the club captain. He mentioned that he would be, he would not sign that contract unless he knows who the next manager is. If you are the club captain, I don't think you should say things like that, because your loyalty should to the club, should not, should come at all cost. It should not matter the next manager is and things like that. So I think, it's not the great statement from Virgil van Dijk. uh, if that happens, if he's not fond of the next manager, probably I see him leaving as well. But the other guys, I think, Trent is an out and out Scouser. I think there's no doubt he will be there at the club. And I think if Virgil is leaving, if he doesn't sign that contract, I think Trent will be our captain. Also, I don't see Allison leaving, because hardly, sign goalkeepers these days. Okay, unless
Yep.
it's Chelsea, who signed like two or three, two or three goalkeepers in the past
Right.
year or so.
Or
So
Arsenal. They've
yeah.
also like signed
So
a lot of
even without
goalkeepers in the
even
past.
without
Yeah.
Salah and Van Dijk, I think, if the rest
Hmm.
of the players stay put, I think we are in decent shape. Even
Right.
because, so I don't think, the teams will collapse suddenly. We are in decent shape. All the newcomers also are playing well. I don't see someone really ruining this. If he's a proper manager, if we are linked with a lot of players, a lot of managers like
Right.
Xavi and De Zerbi. If these guys come, I don't think we'll ruin it that much. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. That possibly brings me to the golden question that everybody wants to know and everyone's going to talk about till the season ends and the next one starts is who is going to be the new Liverpool manager once Jurgen Klopp exits the club? I'll go to the Kloppite. What are your thoughts on this?
So yeah, the obvious names have been mentioned: Xabi Alonso, De Zerbi, and I think the Athletic, Paul Joyce, everyone saying Xabi Alonso and De Zerbi are the front runners. Melissa Reddy said that Xabi Alonso is probably even like the more obvious choice compared to De Zerbi. And for me, I don't want to look anywhere but Xabi Alonso. I like De Zerbi, but I don't think he's a very charismatic coach as well, and he has some fun.
Any
Yeah,
chance for Stevie G to come to the Premier League and
you know,
maybe start the fairy tale? I mean, he's a
though,
club
though,
legend as well. I mean, you mentioned Jabi
yeah, he's a
Alonso. I'm
bigger
pretty sure.
legend, but yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
bigger
look at Stevie
legend.
G. He's alone now that Henderson has gone to PSG. He's all by himself, and he'd be the best candidate
Henderson's gone
to
to
come into the
Ajax
Premier League.
and PSG.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Ajax. Anyways, he's alone, right? So he must be a candidate out
He
there.
signed a contract with Al Ettifaq or whatever the club is.
Yeah, well, so did Henderson.
Yeah, but I think the Liverpool board are smart enough to not recruit him because I don't rate him as a manager. So, but De Zerbi, I like him. I like his press conferences. I won't be too upset if he joins, but I think the obvious choice is Xabi Alonso. He has that aura about him. I don't know if you feel, and it's not just Bayer Leverkusen performing. It's not just because of that. I think he did very well with Real Sociedad, and uh, and he took this Bayer Leverkusen by just like Jurgen Klopp. Uh, didn't
Yeah.
spend much. So, and they're fighting at the front. One could say that they might win the title. No one knows. So he's exactly doing what Jurgen Klopp did with Dortmund, and yeah, and he's very young also. So like he could stay for, I don't know, if he tries to build a legacy, he can stay at Liverpool for God knows how long. And Liverpool do tend to pay their managers really well compared to the players' wages. The manager gets paid really well, so that might be an attractive proposition for him. And of course, he loves Liverpool. He's always said that he is more home at Liverpool compared to his uh, home country in Spain. So there could be a chance. I saw his interview. He said that this season I'm just concentrating on Bayer Leverkusen, but obviously we can talk about it at the end of the season. Also, Fabrizio Romano said that they have an agreement. He has an agreement with Bayer Leverkusen that if a big club approaches them, he's allowed to go. So a lot of talks are coming out slowly. A lot of rumors or from good journalists that that might be the most likely option. And Liverpool, as we know how smart Liverpool are, I think they would go for that choice. And yeah, but I won't be too sad with Deserby either. But Deserby gives me a feeling of, I don't know. This is just my personal opinion. Nothing like I have no evidence whatsoever. But it's my personal opinion that like Graham Potter, Deserby is at the moment he's good for Brighton. Maybe he would be good for a club like Spurs. And anything higher than that, I think would be too much expectations on him. Even if that club is Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United, City, Liverpool, I think those are much bigger clubs compared to the other teams. So he'd be good for Newcastle, Spurs. So I don't personally want prefer him, but I'll be okay with it and see how it goes. A little skeptical maybe, but my obvious choice is Abi Alonso and
Yeah.
I'll go to the Bong Scouts. What are your thoughts? Do you think Stevie G deserves a chance? I mean, come on. Uh, what if? Okay, let me rephrase the question. How would you react to Liverpool announcing that Steven Gerrard is the new Liverpool manager next season? Go.
See, whoever is the next manager, I would definitely support them, because I think sometimes if it's Steven Gerrard, then let me tell you, there are a lot of things that that will tick the boxes, right? Because he knows this club. Okay, he knows the fans, and I think he'll have that same sort of connect that Jurgen Klopp had with us. But as a tactician, like Simon said, I don't rate him. Okay, and I'm pretty sure he's not in the reckoning. Okay, he's probably fourth choice, fifth choice. But I think if our club doesn't get the ones ahead of him in the list, then it'll come to him. Uh, Again, my top choice is Xabi Alonso, like he mentioned, because I think he has the kind of personality to succeed as a manager at Liverpool. Okay,
But okay,
he's had
b-
yeah.
before you
Tell me.
go on to the other manager, I wanted to ask about Alonso. I mean, isn't he like also like going to be the main target for Real Madrid? I mean, it kind of
no,
seems
but
No,
like
but
Ancelotti signed a contract. Ancelotti
signed
signed
a
a
yeah, but
contract.
you
contract.
know how these things are, right? I mean, they might get Mbappe and they might get rid of Angelotti. Angelotti is
I am actually worried more about Barcelona, because Barcelona
No,
have
I don't think he wants to go to
well,
with,
Barcelona.
yeah. I
with
mean, that'll be kind
Xavi.
of weird,
After what Xavi said in the interview, like
right?
Barcelona, you
Exactly.
cannot work with Barcelona. So I don't think he ever
No, that
goes to
was Xavi.
Barcelona.
Yeah, that was Xavi.
Yeah,
But
Xavi is his good friend, right? So they have
yeah,
played together and
yeah,
everything.
and I
So
think the
he was
fact
a
that
Real Madrid manager,
yeah,
Real Madrid player.
the fact
So
that he was a Real Madrid manager sort of
player, yeah.
sort of means that he yeah played. So he sort of means that he won't go to Barcelona. But you can never say with things like this.
No,
But
I don't think.
even if I think he just has that kind of personality to succeed at Liverpool. And like Swam said, he has a very how his career is going. There's a very similar. It's very similar to what Jurgen Klopp did at Dortmund, because he's taken them from 18th last season, when he was at when he was at the Realm. So they were 18th, and now he's on top of the table. So I think he has that sort of knack for player development. He's not bought any new players at the club. And the best part about him is that he has that personality. If you see him conducting those press conferences, and how he just carries himself, you know that this guy is, he's going to be a great manager. If you've heard of Mourinho's press conference some days back at Roma, he was asked this question, that who do you think is the next big manager? He's mentioned Alonso's name. So, and Mourinho, with that level of experience, in at the top of the game, I think you have to take his word seriously. I'll be extremely happy if Xavi Alonso comes in, but this guy Deserby, I like him a lot. I mean, he is his way, the way Brighton plays. I think in the past, in 2023, they had the highest possession out of all teams. Okay, and they probably had created the second most big chances in the entire season. Okay, in the entire year. So that says a lot when you are coaching a team like Brighton. Okay, and he could come through. He could come good at Liverpool. Also, I think he's a very charismatic manager, much like Jurgen Klopp, and he connects with the fans. And there's a different style about him. He also likes to field academy players. A lot of similarities with Klopp as well.
Thank you for watching that video. We are a community of passionate football fans, and we post weekly videos on transfer news, match reactions, tactical analysis, and sometimes just gossip on the most exciting sport in the world. If that's what you like to hear, then hit that subscribe button and join the conversation with us.